Okie dokie. Could be ready to get started. And yeah. I was just about to make a little pillow fort post. I've been trying to get better at posting there. Cause it's an interesting place. But I am no good at it. I hardly post on Blue Sky either, to be fair. I'm just not born to post things, I suppose. We'll go like this. Okay, we'll go here. Lorpe, Johanna. Hope you're having a good evening. Now, oh hi Sakura Fighters. I'm just making a little post on Pillow Fort. It's a bit of a new site I'm trying to get it to see if it goes well for me. Yeah, you can use that indeed. And we can go to VTubers, I suppose. We can go like that. I didn't even notice that you said the wrong one. At this point, I'm kind of used to it. I forgot what I need to open up Unity, I think. I think that is the move for right now. Cool, I didn't know it would have a shortcut to it there. That's convenient. I might turn down the music a bit. There we go. If y'all would prefer it louder, you'll have to let me know. But sometimes it gets in the way of my thinking. Not like earlier. Earlier today, I was in my sewing class, right? And I had some music on. Also, I think one of my earbuds is broken because I was definitely only hearing it in one ear. When I went into the little app that they have, and I changed the audio balancing to be like completely to the other ear, only at that point did it seem balanced. So that's very odd. But, I lost my train of thought a little bit. Oh, that's right. I was playing Invisible by Duran Duran on the earbuds, right? For 2 hours on repeat. I'm not good at, like, it was part of a playlist even, but I said, nope, I only want to listen to that one. I'm just a bit of a silly. Let's see. So, oh, golly, I'm not wearing good clothes for squats. That'll be fine. Alright, I see it. I'll have to, go change into something else, I think, because I don't want to do squats in these jeans. Everyone blamed Grace for making me step out. Okay, I'm back. What? Grace? You're mean to me, you know. Oh. There's the tracker. Alright, let's try and hurry with these, because I want to get working. I want to get as much done as I can tonight. Because like I said, it's getting close. It's not... It is very clearly, fairly, because you very much caused this. Completely and totally your fault. I've still gotta grab the... No! That's mean to me behavior, Grace. Alright. Let's see, we start with all the spots. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and I'm gonna sip my water some more. Hope that's not too loud. I see it kind of peak the mic when I do that. Oh. Golly. Okay. I'm gonna go 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 5, 36, 37, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, thank you, Johanna. Somebody understands that I'm correct. 58. What's this? You got advantage now, that's no worries. See you around. Nine, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. Alright, there we go. And then, just a sip, it's okay. Golly. Does not like that. Okie dokie. Oh, that's a little odd. Probably need to be reaching back this way, huh? Okay. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Okay. Apologies for the delay. But now, we can get to working. Whoops. Not like this. Camera sure does get confused. Okay. Sorry for the highlight of the stream. Well, how am I supposed to know if it's a highlight of the stream, Grace, you silly? You're the only one who ever comments on it, even. Whew. Alright, so. Right now, the tricky thing. Hang on, let me see. The tricky thing is the blend shapes. Alright? Oops, I didn't mean to lock that actually. Hi! I love you. So, if we look at these blend shapes, it looks all fine here. You guys can actually see that. If I go like this, you can. So these are the different shapes that the face can make, right? Angry, sad, happy, scared, love eyes, blushing, pleading, and then all the different sounds, which I think... So, hang on, am I missing? In a very bad... I'll keep falling behind, so we're just gonna look. Okay, thank you. I think one of our problems might be that we need another blend shape. No, wait, hang on. We have O, but we don't have U. Gotcha. So we'll call this one U. I don't think because what I think the VRMs do, which I don't really want them to do, but it's what they kind of seem to do, is instead of taking each of these shapes it will only recognize A, E, I, O, and U. That's what I think it's doing. Because if you look at these presets here, I think these presets might be the only ones it recognizes. So we're going to test that. It doesn't actually have a blend shape on the body setup. But we're gonna see if we're able to. So what we also need is Krita open, because Krita is where I got my this is where basically I have the information about the different mouth shapes, as you can see here. So do I have one that'll work for a U sound? We have OH. I think OU probably, right? OU is... So, the thing about UV coordinate textures is that it always goes... it's always a 1x1 grid, right? So all your coordinates on this grid will be between 0 and 1. And so, because this is 5 across and 5 down in terms of how many shapes there are, what I do to get each one is I basically just count by 0.2. So to get to OU here, which is right here, I'd go starting at the center, which is where 0, 0 is. Or maybe not where 0, 0 is, but where the default of the texture is. Because technically I think 0, 0 would be down here maybe in the corner. But because in Blender I've set the default position to be in the center, that's where it is in Unity too. So to get to this one I go minus 0.2 and minus 0.2. And you'll see that when I do this. So this, the property we serialize is the main texture ST. I don't actually remember what ST means, but you'll see we go to the tiling, we set this to 1x1, then the offset we go minus 0.2 and minus 0.2. Now we want to double check this one, I think. Yes, okay, that is a different shape. So, scared here. So we have blink, joy. We have joy, angry, sorrow, and fun. I think maybe we're missing... So I think the problem I was having before is that I didn't have all the necessary ones, and that was causing the necessary ones to be confused, you know? So how about... So just for testing's sake, we can set the blushing one to be the fun preset. So now if I were to go and export this, right? Which one is it? Probably color weights. Yeah, that would be my guess. Okay, and then I've just been like incrementing the version numbers as I go on. 3.3 was before I added the earrings, and then 3.4 is with it. So this will be 3.4.5, I suppose. And then we go assets, export test. You'll see there's quite a few other ones. Number 1 was just these files. I just never moved them to another folder. Then we have... Oh, you guys can't actually see this all that well. That's a bit too bad. But we have 2 through 10 up there. So we're going to add this into a new folder just called 11. Alright, and then we kind of just wait for this to do its thing. It does its stuff. And then what we do is, I think it's going to be easier, because I'm probably going to have to go back and forth a lot between Unity and my tracker. So I'm going to disable my tracker from stream. I'm going to go like this. Yeah, I'm just going to put that there for now. Haven't used that in a bit. Which is a good thing, because it's usually my technical difficulties one. But now, we see about number 11. So what I do is I put this here for y'all. I can maximize it as well, because why not? And then I do actually, oh, here it is. Go file input, choose file, make sure it's the right one. Okay. So now we see, so some of the shapes on the eyebrows or eyelashes don't work so well still. We're going to have to figure that out in a bit, but it'll be fine. Oh, and you can see, the texture on those earrings doesn't work so well. You guys can see some of these things, like, already they're working, you know? Let me just make sure this is still on the screen. Some other things don't work quite as well, like if you see the, twisting. Like, that part shouldn't be happening there, that clipping. But if I turn on the face tracking, so it should be working now, yeah? If I smile. Smile real big, you can see the blush kind of appears. It's a little bit of a problem, because we want it to appear fully. And then the other problem is that the mouth texture disappears when I smile. You see? It's kind of strange that it does that. The other thing I'd like it to do would be a bit more responsive with when it changes the shape of the mouth. But that's kind of tricky to do because it only recognizes A, E, I, O, and U. If I kind of exaggerate how much I move my mouth between things, then it goes a little bit better. But, you know, it's still kind of tricky. So, we'll do my best. I'll do my best with that, you know? It actually seems like it's more likely to recognize the blush than some of these things. Anyways, that's not all relevant right now. So, what I'm shooting is with fun, which is the blush shape. The blush, hang on. Blush blend shape doesn't actually change, does it? I remove this. Let me see if there's any other ones that have strange settings on the material list. Texture serialization. So I'd imagine it'd be Joy especially. -0.4. So I think instead of Joy, this one should be Fun. Right? Because this is the face I'd want that to be. Then this one here can be Blush instead. And we'll set this one on Joy. And we do want this one to be binary. Okay, so that's the problem we were having before. With it not appearing fully. Because it is binary. So if it's a binary blend shape clip, then that means that it'll either be fully active or not active. Right? And we want them to basically be in that one or the other with these textured ones. Because especially with the blush, you can tell, well, the blush and the mouth are the only ones that it matters a ton for. But, yeah. The one thing I wish I could do would make anger an exclusive one. And by that, I mean, I want to make it so that if anger is active, sorrow can't be active. I don't think that's a thing I can do. I think I might as well set all of these to be binary, because except for the mouth movement ones, technically, because I'd want those to be able to do their own thing. And I guess winking and blinking. Anyways, the one problem right now is I can't seem to do that, you know? Because what I'm trying to... Because the problem I'm having, right, is that if it happens to be both angry and sad, then the here I can even just show you if I click the play button here. So if I go angry, oh whoops, some things there that shouldn't be. Fine, I'm trying to get, well, it doesn't matter. You guys can see down there, even though up there is pretty stinky. I guess hiding things there doesn't do it. But if we go, angry and sad, for example, it goes all wonky with the eyelashes. And this tendency it has to do multiple at once could also potentially be why we see the mouth disappear sometimes. Because it might be trying to go do one that doesn't exist by combining the offsets of multiple of them. So let me see if I can figure out what it might be trying to do. So we'd have maybe like scared and fun, or golly. You'll see that combining these blend shape clips causes problems, right? Because they're not meant to be combined, is the thing. They're meant to be one at a time. So I wonder if there's a way I can have it do that. I'll have to look it up. VRM Unity set expression blend shape clip as exclusive. I keep turning this off, but because of my new browser, it kind of resets when I leave because it doesn't save things for privacy reasons. Hide AI generated images. Never search assist. There you go. At least you can disable that, right? Let me see if the things here. Expressions can be created in the inspector. Selecting expressions and customized values. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So that's good. A name for it. Hang on. It looks like it should be possible to do things from the code. But I don't know how necessarily. Very strange. The basis is not incorrect. Let me force exclusive to be included. No. Okay, we'll make sure that VRM is included then. More results, maybe? Because, golly, I'm trying to make it so that I'm able to set UniVRM, how to prevent multiple blend shape clips being active at once. Okay, so this is not what we were after. It's tricky, because having them only... Grace, it's not cute. It's only because I'm gonna be using the tracker to test the model. So I figure it's easiest if I just have this for now, you know? I mean, I can put my thing back. You know? Hang on. Let me put it here. I'll just take 1 second. Where did it go? Golly. There. There we go. We'll turn that off. That there. Then we can turn this back on. You see? I'm back to this. It was just easier temporarily for testing. I'm trying to get it so that I can do one at a time, you know? I don't want it to be doing multiple. I only want one. It'd actually be really convenient if I had a second camera right now, because then I could actually test both things at the same time. I don't actually have 2 cameras. It's like, who would have 2 cameras for streaming? Makes no sense. Quickie. I wonder if we take a look at the code that it uses, right? Makes the blunt shape merger. So let's see. It's tricky to figure out, you know, because I didn't make any of this code, right? So what would happen if yeah, I really don't know. Because it's tricky. There is a lot to consider. So because golly. Here, it looks like the merger has the values we're after. Right? So let's see about the blunt shape merger script. Because my thought is that if I can just edit this code, then maybe it'll allow me to just do the thing, right? It might throw a fit about not being proper, and we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it, but, you know. Okay. So what we're looking for... Oh wait, I might need to translate some of this Japanese, unfortunately. Because I don't remember enough Japanese to read this. That looks, Alright, let's see. Japanese. Classes that store blend shapes and apply them all at once. So, I don't love the applying all at once part. It's kind of... So, the problem is that it's kind of necessary for them to actually all be tracked at once. And that's fine. Let me actually just, like, go ahead and try and translate all these comments. Excuse you. Okay, so I'm assuming this says create a blend shape, create blend shape clip from key, or get blend shape clip from key. Okay. Hi, Magla L. And then here we have... So I'm kind of translating some of the comments in this code, right? Because I'm trying to figure out if I can modify it to suit my needs. And to make sure it can suit my needs, I need to know what it does. And the easiest way to know what it does is to read the comments. Unfortunately, the comments are not in my language. Working on that. Apply accumulated values, huh? Okay, so blend shape binding, huh? I'm just curious. Golly, it's tricky. So, it looks like to set a value, set a value, it goes to each of them and calls accumulate values, and then it calls apply. And to apply, it goes to the blend shape binding merger and the material value binding. Both are fine. But so the thing is, right now, values don't care what other values are, right? And I'd rather not use more for loops than necessary, because there's a tiny chance it would impact performance. And performance is kind of an important part. So, what I'd hope to do would be, because I see here that it, you know, calls accumulate values on everything and checks its value. If I could use this here to determine what things should be, let me have this here. Okay. If I say debug.log kv.key kv.value, how's that look? Does this work? Any errors? Cannot convert from float to UnityEngine.object. And where is that? 6935. Okay. Alright. And what's it not able to convert between? Can't convert from float, huh? Alright. Let me double check that I can do something like that in C#. C# printf. You know, what do you do for printf in C#? I forgot. Maybe instead of C# I say Unity. Just something, you know? Print. Alright. Works for me. Now let's see if this breaks. Print doesn't exist in the current context. Okay, well it said it was an alias for debug.log. I can try that again. Well, hang on. Does it appear in the Unity console? Vicky. Another heart. Hi, Macro. Hope you're still doing good. Argument 2. Maybe the problem is actually just I'm doing 2 at once. Right? Maybe I need to typecast them. Let's see. How did people decide on strings in this language? Because it's clearly not like that. Okay, maybe it's like this? Try that. Okay, can't convert from that to this. Alright. So, the answer here is gonna be going like this. Alright, good. This is how I do it. So now when we go like this, should be give us a constant. Alright. Interesting. Oh, I see. Let's collapse them. Okay, so they are collapsed. So a lot of these are at 0. Okay. Awesome. Okay. That's actually a good thing. So that means that we can use the key and value here. So what I want to try and do is mess with things, right? The problem is, I don't know if changing stuff in these scripts will apply things to the model outside of Unity. Because in my head, it would, because I'd be changing the parameters with which it operates and then exporting it like that. But it might not, because these scripts here might only be operating on the level of how to make a VRM happen in Unity. And then its exporting scripts would deal with how that works, you know? I'm gonna try it though, just to be safe. Because it seems like the best bet. Alright? So, it accumulates things and then it applies. I want to... So, over in set values, right? It accumulates and then it applies. I'd like it to... I don't want to stop it from accumulating. I only want to stop it from applying. If it's the wrong thing, you know? So we'll let it accumulate, and then maybe, let me see. If, where did I leave? Yeah, if we open up mouth control, so, okay, so values actually can have .name. So we want to say, we'll make a switch case statement. Case, well, we'll set a default case, right? Default case will be to break the switch case. But then, if the case is something that we don't want to be doing, well, golly, it's tricky. Let's see. So, what I should do maybe not even in this switch case, right? Maybe even in accumulate values. Because I can't just set things to be 0, you know? If I don't want them active, right? Golly, it's tricky. No wonder they didn't do this in their own program. It might even be best to look specifically at the apply functions, right? So we'd be looking at binding merger and so blend shape binding merger. That's this one. And we're looking for the apply function. So for each, if hang on, I might need to learn a bit of syntax here. So we're looking for material value binding merger as well. And then we'll want the apply function in this. The, actually, technically no, well, yeah, okay. So over in apply, material target, Okay. So it does all these things on all of them, right? What I'm thinking is I can remove that from there. I'll make a new section and put all this in here, right? Then we will make a new variable var max key equals 0. And then we'll, for each key, we want to say honestly, actually, hang on. I don't care about that one. Because the actual face shapes on the mouth and materials were just fine. It is actually technically just here that I had problems. Right? So, let's see. If blend shape setter map. So we have an action. Variable decoration can be inline changes. Action of a float setter. So kv.key. I think it depends on what the try get value. We're looking for blend shape setter map, it looks like. Is that something here? Or maybe I just look here. We'll look at C# try get value. Could be a dictionary method, that'd be interesting. Okay, so look, this is the same syntax we saw before. Returns a boolean. Value, okay. When this method returns, contains the value associated with the specified key. So essentially, what we're seeing here is without setter. This here is, I don't know what it means by action, but it looks like it's a float, which should be the value of the key. So try get value, it checks the key, example, so if we have an example like this, try get value TIF, efficient way to retrieve values in a program that frequently tries keys that are not in the dictionary. So open with, okay, so look. This is definitely a dictionary that we're accessing. It might be a dictionary of... It must be a dictionary of all the blend shape keys. We have value as the out, okay. What I want to say is blend shape value map, huh? Blend shape value map. Let's look at the first one. Okay. I suppose blend shape binding. So, it's tricky. Because I need to make I wonder if I'm able to say var max key equals, I guess, and blend shape value map, and then that won't work because it's a dictionary, but let's just see. Get first key in dictionary. Let's specify that it's C# because it needs to be. plain coolest way to get an element. D dot get enumerator, huh? Okay. So let's just say it's a var of kind. I don't know if this works at all, but I'm seeing action, which I don't understand there. So let's just see if it works to try something like this. Probably not, right? But how's this? Even just looks ridiculous. I don't want to. Cause I need we'll say float value equals 0x, right? And then the other value is blend shape binding. Okay. Is so we have blend shape binding max p equals null. So I don't know if this works because I don't know what a blend shape binding is. It looks like this is a blend shape binding merger, but I don't know if it has a definition for what a blend shape binding is. Right? We might need to look somewhere else for that. Let's see. Maybe not. But the reason I need to know what it is so I can tell if it's something I can assign a null value to, right? I might not need to. I might be able to just go like this. Because I give the program the type of object it is, it might not need to be assigned initially. It depends sometimes. Okay, yeah, they declared the never used, but that is fine, we're about to use them. So, we're going to, so it calls setter here, which I suppose is the action. Well, we're gonna say, if kv.value, right, is greater than max value, we'll say that max value equals kv.value, and then we'll say max p equals kv.p. Alright, so that'd be like that. Then what I would want to do I'd get I would take this out of there, put it afterwards here, right? And then instead of setting on all of them, we're just going to try on the one with the most. Right? So that's max key and max value. So this, in theory, this would work, right? But only in theory. Because I still think that we're being throttled by use of unassigned local variable max. Right. So the issue here is that even if we set max key here, we can't know we'll just say, is it something I can assign null to? Let's test it, right? I didn't think so. Fair enough. Blend shape binding, huh? What is that? Golly. Because it doesn't need to be a specific item in the list, it just needs to be literally anything, you know? So that's what I'm having trouble with. I'm gonna take a little break really quick. Stretch myself and stuff. I'll be right back. Okie dokie. We're back. So. Tricky, huh? Because we can't set this to null. I guess, technically, as long as I... No, that's lame. I don't like that. Golly. Because it just has to have any value at all. Maybe I just literally even... Okay. Does it work to say if max B... Can I pretty please do it like this? Okay, so... No. Heck. Golly. What if I just say new blend shape finally? What if I did it like this? What's this about? How about it? You like that? Does that make you happy? Does that make you smile? Cool. Now, this technically would work, but I foresee an issue. Let's see if it happens. Yeah. That would be the thing. But it's not technically breaking anything. Can you think about it? So what happens now if I try and set 2? You see? It's only doing the bigger one. And if I make the other one bigger, what happens? Okay, so it only does... Oh. Alright. Gotcha. Gotcha. Ah, golly. This is mean to me. What am I to do here? Reset this for one. Best will probably be to continue trying to find a way to how to make 2 blend shape clips or 2 expressions maybe. Unable to UniVRM. Probably like this. Maybe this. No, it's talking about like actual areas instead of... Okay. Tricky. Very tricky. Golly. Exclusionary expressions. UniVR. Okay. Let's separate the words. Prevent multiple expressions at once. VRM expressions manager. Um... Golly, I don't know. I don't want AI. I'd rather die. But... golly. I might still be forgetting some... yeah, I'm forgetting some debug statements here, I think. Whoops. You probably aren't gonna want forever. So... golly. I'm doing my best out here, that's for sure. Maybe I take a quick look at the expression manager. Right? If I can find it, golly. Oh, hang on. That's not how that was meant to happen. But it's fine. As long as nothing changes. That's also from Porpra Music, by the way. A little bit odd that I'm not seeing the expressions manager. Let's try too many blend shapes at once. Unity VR. Maybe something like this. Golly. Maybe here I can say. Too many blend shapes at once. Let's just look around, I guess. You know? Golly. Yeah, I don't know if it's possible. Which is tricky, because... like, I explicitly don't want it to do multiple at once, you know? On this model, that's not an issue, though. Interesting. If I go like this, then it does that, you know? Interesting. I don't know. I want to choose is the thing. I don't want it to be doing both. Like, that is my least favorite thing when it does both. Tricky. Tricky by a lot. Oh, and Grace has decided it's time for more exercise. I'll get to it in just a second, Grace. Still thinking on it. And 20 steps, of course. Can't forget the 20 steps. So let me see actually over here about these. Because if I put angry and fun, for example. Okay, so this one doesn't deal with the problem. Instead, it manages it by just having it not look bad. Okay. Angry and sorrow, how does that look together? Oh, thank you for the follow. Yay. Yeah. So, I don't know if you've seen already. I'm about... What the... Exclamation point, exclamation... Game? I don't know what you're talking about. A little bit. I got a little confused in there. Can you preview? Yeah, absolutely. So, this is what it looks like. Hang on. Or actually, a better preview would be, so this is kind of what you can see right now. Let me see. I can do a different preview instead. If I go like this. This would be a preview using my tracker. Nice to meet you, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned. I'm Shaman. I'm doing stuff, you know? Or trying to. I'm not so great at introductions, I'm gonna be honest. So I can full screen this. Move it down. Let's see. This should be able to choose a pose. So I think there was a walking pose. Or a walking animation I liked well enough. So it's not perfect or anything, as you can kind of see. But it's not terrible. No, Grace, you're very silly. But you see, we have some dangly earrings, which are kind of fun. Oh golly, I thought I fixed the color already. Okay, well I'm gonna need to fix that. Here I thought I was working on the right thing. Okay. And I know what the problem with that is too, golly. Okay, I thought I fixed that already. Back to Blender we go. Alright, that is, hang on, it's over Steam. Blender, here we go. Nice, thank you! I'm doing my best with it, you know, like, I've been working on this for such a long time. If I were better at it, it would go faster, obviously, but I'm doing what I can. Oh! I just remembered, so... this is a little awkward. I don't know what you prefer to be called, but I do happen to have some redeems to do certain exercises. The ones Grace has redeemed is 50 squats, 25 squats, and 20 sit-ups. So I'm going to need to do those in just a second. It just happens that I got distracted by you showing up. Women use Linux in making game. Yeah. Yeah. Technically, this isn't a game I'm making. You can see that I'm using this tracked model here. What I'm making here is, a replacement for it. Right? Or an update. The game I'm making, I'm using Godot for. I'll show you that really quickly, because I have a second. Or maybe not, because Godot needs to update. But yeah, I am making a game, it's just that this model I'm making is not for that, you know? It's for the stream. Yeah. I'm forgetting something. The exercises, right. So like I was saying, it's a little awkward. I always am reluctant to do them when there's new people because I'm like, oh, what if I'm being a bad... what if I'm not doing the right thing by doing the exercises instead of just like carrying on, you know? But I mean, if I didn't respect the Redeem, then it'd be a little strange. It also does give me a chance to show off one of the cool parts of this track. It has a full body mode, which is pretty cool. And then once I finish the model, I'll be able to do the full body mode with the new model. It'll be super awesome. So, yeah, that's that. I don't want you to stop talking, but I will say, awesome! Yeah, I'm glad you think so. Oh, so, it's just a little awkward, because I need to do the squats and the sit-ups, but I want to keep making sure you're entertained and everything. I don't want to lose you right after you showed up. But, yeah. It's a little disappointing because it is a lot of them, you know? Jump? Oh, jumping is a little tricky. Because it partially uses my feet as where the ground is, but I can go... That's what jumping looks like. It's not so, good. But I could stand on something. If I stood on something, maybe that would work. Let's see. The answer is no. Yeah, it kind of determines where the ground is based on where my feet are, instead of other things like... So it's a bit of a letdown in that sense, but I need to stop procrastinating because the longer I put off doing the squats, the less time I'll have to actually program before I gotta go to bed, you know? So I'll just get into it really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and then I'm gonna sip my water because it's a convenient time to do that. Oh yeah, the camera or the tracker really bugs out when I go out of frame. Like if I stepped over here, I guess you can see me from there. Oh wait, no. It's mean to me sometimes. I need to calm myself down. I just got a little excited to have somebody new interested. If you want, you can... Here, I might as well. Just in case you feel like it. It's not an obligation. Not, a command or anything. I'm just saying, if you feel like hanging around a bit more. Let's continue this so I don't get distracted. 26, 27, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Then there's just 25 left. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. Okie dokie. Oh, you got me all excited because of your interest in my things. Oh, I just kind of love showing people my stuff. Unfortunately, there's still 20 steps to do. So, hold on, stick around. I'm almost back to work. I'm tiring myself out really quickly though. It's a bit silly of me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Goodness. 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, there we go. All done. I'm just gonna move the weights out of the way. Alright. Now, I can get back to work. Hopefully that wasn't too boring. I hurried as much as I could. I've gone so much back and forth on whether the exercises are a good thing or not. In the end, I always decide to keep them. Because to be honest, I don't get enough exercise without them. Let me double check on the music. How's that doing? Might as well set that back. So, yes, that's right. I was going to hop into Blender. We're in pose mode. So if I just like move this forward a bit, you can kind of see some of the problems that start to arise. Okay, so to begin with, I think that these 4 outer bones were a decent idea to begin with. But I don't think that I actually need those. Right? Then the movement of the dress can be based on just the legs, which makes plenty of sense because the legs are in there anyway. So the one weird thing is that I actually don't know why that's happening. But we're going to, right now, go and deal with all the things that have no weights assigned to them. Because the reason that you'll see some of these deformities is because instead of being assigned to any... So, the reason that all this moved forward when I moved bones is because all the parts of this mesh have weights assigned to them. And the different parts of the bones, the armature, those determine how the mesh deforms when I move it. And I moved the root bone there, or the hip bone, one of the two. Doesn't matter a ton. I moved one of those forward so that I could see very easily which vertices here have no weights assigned. So basically they're unaffected by bones. And we know they're unaffected by bones because they didn't move at all when the rest of the mesh moved with the bone. And we fix that by going into weight paint mode and selecting some of these things. It doesn't have to be a huge weight we add, but what I'd like to do would be to add like 0.01, let's say. In fact, what I can do is I can grab weight with this sample tool. See how much that is. Oh, that didn't change anything. Okay, but you'll see that by drawing over these vertices with the weight draw tool, they disappear and go forwards because now they're being affected by the bones. And they're not affected a ton because I don't want them to be super out of place with the rest of the collar there. Your collar. And you'll see it sometimes doesn't work, like when I do it like this. And the reason for that is that it doesn't have pass-through on. So if I'm on the wrong side of the mesh, then it won't work. So I have to turn it around. Now you'll see that it should work. So maybe I'm still at the wrong angle. There we go. Then we can just keep on painting over these. And you'll notice that sometimes it's doing multiple. That's because I have mirroring on the x-axis, which means that across the x-axis, which is this red line here, so on either side of the origin from there, it'll copy my actions, which is good, because it means that I don't have to do them as many times. Sometimes it does get a little tricky figuring out exactly what angle to poke at them from. Especially since I don't want to accidentally paint over the wrong part. It's possible that these could even be on the inside there, I think. Right? Not quite. I gotta figure... Huh? What's that one doing up there? Oh wait, I remember. No. So because I wanted to have a particular expression or a particular data available for like little sweat drops dropping from the sky so that I could simulate sort of a sweating kind of thing. Oh, there we go. Because I wanted that, I have these two little empties here. They're not empty, they just look it. But if I go back into object mode and I scroll down to sweat drop or sweat health, see if I drag this up, that opens. I am noticing though that that didn't move forward at all with the rest of the model. I'm going to deal with that in just a second. But first, let's go back into weight paint mode. Because the other one we need to deal with is there, right? It looks like it's actually... Okay. So, we have some vertices all in the wrong spot. Quite a few, actually, surprisingly. That's no worries. What we'll do is we'll scroll down in the vertex groups list here until... Where's my... I left my water all the way back there. Hang on. Back when I... doing the exercises. So, we're looking for the legs. So left upper leg, or left lower leg. Looks like it looks like lower leg might be a good choice. Supply sample like there. Alright. Or we'll just draw from 1. There we go. And technically we could go and add it to the right side as well. But it looks like the mirroring may have done it, or it might not have needed it to begin with. I don't know. We're gonna have to look at this as well. Oh yeah, it looks like it was probably mirroring that helped us there. This section's a lot messier because I had to do a lot more of it manually. But it doesn't matter a ton, as long as it looks alright in the end. You know? The less you have to do manually, the better, of course. And you'll see that a lot of the stuff on the inside past the angles is just gone. And that's because, performance, really. If you have fewer things to render, then it is easier to render them. There we go. Uh-huh. So that'll be good for that. Now we can go back into object mode and pose. Whoops, not sculpt. We want object mode. So what I'd like right now, actually. So, on the head, I think I'm gonna use the select box tool. I'm gonna make sure. Okay, so X-ray isn't available. That's fine. I'm going to select only the vertices on the sweat droplets. And I'm going to find the head bone vertex group, because what I want to do is assign them, not with weight 0, but with weight 1. So now you'll see that they've moved forward a ton, because now they're being affected by the head bone, right? So this also means that when I rotate the head, these will rotate with it. Pretty cool. And if I reduce these, you'll see they shrink back down to nothing. Awesomeness. Uh-huh. And then... am I forgetting anything that I want to do here? I do need to make sure that I reset where the armature is. Whoops, that's the wrong button. So that would be with Alt-G. And I'll press T and S as well, just to make sure. Hang on. R. So, the thing about the tail is I set some things in Blender to make it have a bit more dynamic movement. You can see if I wiggle this. It's pretty neat looking. The only thing about it is that it sometimes doesn't like to reset as much. No, so if I reset all of these. There we go. So we'll save that there. And that's pretty much how we want it to go. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting in Blender just now. So, here's the decision-y bit. It does not look great when we have both angry and sad enabled, right? I don't like this. I think it looks terrible. But it seems like it's one that happens by accident a lot when I'm trying to just do one. You know, because this would be sad, and this would be angry. Except the way they're triggered is by doing a certain facial expression, like, in real life. So, I would be furrowing my eyebrows to do this sad one, and then I'd be sort of pouting to do that angry one, right? But the thing about that is that it makes sense for me in my head to be furrowing my eyebrows when I'm angry, so I'd go like this. Which does work for an extra angry looking pout. But the problem with it is that that technique doesn't work anymore with this one, because you'll get this instead. So ideally, I'd make it so that you just can't activate both at the same time. But our other option is to make it so that they don't look terrible together, right? That's a tricky thing to do, though. Hang on. There are some things we can do about it. Like you'll see here, the lower eyelash moves downwards a little bit for the sad expression, but it moves up on the angry one. So one thing we could do is move them on one of them to match the other, and then we'd have to figure out something about those. It depends on how much I care, also. Because, let me think. These are all different, exports I've done to try and test things. Dating back to February, golly. We want, probably... We'll call this one More Weight Fix. Except we'll spell it F-I-C-K-X-E-S. More Weight Fixes. We'll spell it strangely, just for fun. I try and give them relevant names to what actually changes in that file. Now... I did kind of want to remove some of the shape keys here we don't need. And the reason for that is because, as it turns out, only the recognized ones in Unity will be picked up by the tracker, right? I'm gonna leave them though, just in case I decide to change that in the future. So that'd be that for now here. I'm gonna close it, not because I should be closed, but just because I feel like closing it. Then, what we do is we delete this. Then what we've got to do is go here. When we put this in the other models, you will see that there's a lot of alternate ones through different stages of testing, we'll say. So we'll import this new one. Then it looks like I'm going to go into my documents, then Vroid piece. This folder is called Vroid Pieces because the model I'm currently using was made in Vroid. And it's sort of just become a catch-all for all my modeling things. You'll see there's Blender and Godot. I was trying to make it in Godot for a while, but it turns out that Unity is just kind of better for making VRM files. Just like all the tools I can find are better in Unity, so let's see. We're going with ref because I made this from a reference that I made myself. More weight fixes is the one we're after. Then we've got to make it sure it's a humanoid rig. We'll apply it like so. Then we configure it really quickly so that we can unmap the jawbone. Because I have a jawbone, but I don't want to use it. Because the jaw on normal VRMs does like, it moves the actual physical jaw piece down. But mine has a 2D mouth, which means that moving that down would just look weird. I have a different blend shape I want to do that anyway. Currently it doesn't really do things, but it hopefully will eventually. Someday. And then the other thing I want to do is enforce the T-pose. So I'll apply it like there. And then we'll click done there. So that'll be that, and then we'll hide this one so we don't confuse between them. We'll import the constraints. And then the materials. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 materials. It's not terrible, but it's not great. You know, it's just sort of middling. 7 materials means that for every frame, has to ask the GPU 7 times to get material textures. And then that's even more data it has to worry about for, basically like each pixel, and then all the other parameters I have set up and stuff, and all the things. What do we have to do? We need the solid colors. There's an underwear texture just because I hadn't removed the things yet. And I was like, well, it's kind of weird if I'm editing these things and there's no underwear. So I put those on there. I put that in the wrong spot. Hi! Kikori. I've forgotten how to pronounce your name. I'm gonna be so honest. Looks like it's Kikori. Kyukorika. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty decent. Doing my best to, you know, make some progress today. We need, so we can unlock this. Could be better. That's too bad. Unless you're talking about something else. I've distracted myself a bit. Rotting in school currently. Oh, well, I hope you feel better, or not feel better. I hope it ends soon. Yeah, that's what I was after. So, this component is new. We'll make this one 3.4.6. I just keep on incrementing the version number to match just the number of things I've done. So there's the meta. We want the human description as well. Okay. Then we've got... hang on. So, I think... that one is probably fine to leave that like that for now, because most of the things about the avatar haven't changed since the last one. The blend shape proxy we do want as well. It's basically, because I made edits in Blender, it has a new mesh, which means I need to change its data. Ends in 6 hours. Oh, you must have just gotten there then, golly. Good luck, you got this. But the blend shape proxy is important because that's what does the thing that makes it all move and stuff. So we're basically copying over the values and components because a new mesh means that I need to make it a new object. And I need to make sure that the bones that it is referencing are actually part of the things, right? We'll call it body skin mesh render as well. Hey there, Sharky. You're so wonderful. I love you. And we'll copy this to there. You're the best. You're playing Marathon? I don't know what that is. we did the look at head, we need to look at bone applier. Copy that. This is new. Then we want to make sure that the bones it's referencing are the correct ones. So we'll go left eye and right eye. This one also has left eye and right eye, so we're checking. Really cool retrograde by the people who made Halo. Well, that's neat. Very awesome indeed. I still need to play Halo. And then we have these spring bone ones. These are the ones that give it physics. I don't know if... Whoops, I didn't mean to move that. And then... Okay, so that's the first one. Then we want... This component is new. It seems like it's working for now to do these. Because once or twice, it's not worked to just copy and paste them. Because the bones weren't in the hierarchy. But it seems like it's, this time, able to tell a difference. So that's convenient. Huh? Oh darn. I think I accidentally clicked copy as new. Or copy instead of paste as new, is what I meant to say. My bad. But yeah, we'll have those. And then... we go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tail, copy. Last one. Paste. Alright. So, if we get rid of this one now, click play. Hang on. I wish I could figure out how to make some of these other ones triggerable in the tracker. That's something I'll have to do eventually. Okay, we need to exit play mode. Yeah, so this is kind of where it will be for tonight, I think. I'm not ending quite yet, so I want to export this. Oh, hang on. Gotcha. So, spring bones, huh? Gotcha, I understand. It was referencing the wrong bones. It just didn't give me problems about it before. Because the other mesh was still in the hierarchy, so I was just thinking I was talking about those. That's fine, so this is the ear bones. So we'll have L and R. Then we have the earrings, which are, I believe, here. Yep, we have earring 1 and earring 2. Then we have that. It'll be here, here, and R. And then last but not least, the tail. Okay. Now if we export this, here our base contains other root. Yes. That is true. It does. Okay, so we'll export there. And then we'll put this in folder 12. We'll let that do that. Then we'll see if there's any other things we need to fix immediately tonight. Tomorrow is gonna be a long day, so unfortunately I can't go too much longer. But you know. Huh? Oh, that's right, inspection. Choose a file. See if anything breaks. Alright. Awesome. Then let's test some stuff. Like walking, for example. It's a little bit silly the way it just like sharply cuts there. I probably need to eventually go and blend the weighting a little bit more and a little bit better, but it's okay for now. Up here you'll see the collar is working fine, and we zoom in on these earrings. I think the lighting on them is weird or different somehow. No, it's actually just normal. Kinda strange though. Alright, let's look at the expressions a little more. I want to see if I'm able to... Oh wait, hang on. Is this able? Yeah, it says camera not accessible. Alright, then I'm going to need to close down this other one temporarily. Alright, we're gonna have you stop. Hang on. Oh, I was curious about this one because this was the name of a different thing, but as it turns out, that is not something I can do. So, I guess really I might as well test it by doing the full body. You know? It just makes sense in my head. Alright. I'm noticing the shadow is in a weird spot again. The tail seems to work though. That's pretty neat. I don't think I can interact with it so well. I can't quite reach back there, it would seem. Or there might be some kind of block. I theoretically could reach there. But it doesn't seem like it works. Okay, so some physics there aren't working properly. That's a bit broken. It seems like it's having trouble figuring out what to do. I might need to adjust some numbers on that. Alright. So that's a bit awkward. Mostly it seems fine though. Right? So that's a good thing. So, at this point, it is quote-unquote done. It just needs some refinement and finishing touches, you know? So, with that, I think we're all good to just, raid out for the night. I gotta use the bathroom, and I gotta do getting ready for bed things. So we will raid out, and Oregon Game Jam Dev, very cool. This person seems interesting. They're playing or they're programming all day. I'll pause this. Seems interesting. They got a neat keyboard. That's fun. I'll raid into them. See you guys next time. Hope it's fun. Oh, Carly did pop something. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye.